You actually weren't getting any audio. But now there is. Now there's audio. I fixed it. There's the audio. Okie dokie. Grab back into this small, miserable piece of the screen. Tuck you in the corner. Perfect. Dun, 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 dun. I'm just drawing a dinosaur. Because I can draw a dinosaur. Because I can. Because I'm going to a thing tomorrow. Because it's gonna be really nice. Because there's gonna be, we're drawing recyousarus. That's what we're doing. I know. Did I delete it because I didn't need it no more? I might have deleted it. We're going to look at an image. You guys probably are going to have no idea what it is. Oh, Mom, I'm streaming! Oh, okay, good enough. Thank you. Where is my lovely recyousarus? I feel like I passed it at this point. Nope, there's a bunch of cat pictures. There's a bunch of cat pictures. More cat pictures. There's... Nope, there he is. Recyousarus. Yeah, I'm gonna do a sneaky and send it in the Discord chat through my phone. That way I can just take it. Going to send that pin. That pin. We're going to send those two things. And then we're going to get off the Discord on my phone, so nothing breaks. And yada dee, yada da. Perfect. Now I should be able to just leech off of the thing. The stream talk. Give me these. Oi! I don't know what you're eating. But stop it. There we go. I am smart. If you want to talk about anything, be open. I literally do not have a will. I am open to talk about anything. Let's grab these two pictures. There's one. Oh my god, that's ginormous. Scan. Micro that. Check it in corner. Well, actually, no, let's check it in this corner. Nope. Don't extract line art drawing because I don't need to. And then we get this one, which is older, but has a lot more details on it. source. It's not associated with anything. It's why do my headphones turn off?
It's your own creation. What do you mean?
It is my own creation. Why did you disconnect headphones? Why'd you turn off?
Are they dead?
No, my headphones. Decided
Yeah,
they didn't
headphones
want any
dead?
headphones. I fixed it.
Do they need power?
No, they should be able to just
Or are they plugged in? Is that if they were wireless,
There we
then
go.
why I'm asking?
Aha! We have achieved our thing. Okay. I also switched out a pen tip because my pen tip is looking like mashed potatoes. Okay. Good, I could still zoom. We could probably we're gonna do something silly.
Great, nothing bad's gonna happen, buddy. It's okay.
I'm just gonna outline this. I'm probably not going to use this for everything, but this was my previous outline, so me as well. This is what I had before. It clearly worked out for me. Even though it's a drawing on a piece of paper, I think everyone can admit they've had drawings on pieces of paper. And that was their drawing, and it's fine. That is a drawing. It was. That's
fine.
I
That's one of my problems right now.
is so upset with his predicament. He doesn't want to be here.
That's why it's doing that. I get it now.
Yes, I sound tired because I'm tired. Because I can be, and there's nothing wrong with sounding tired.
Because your mom had a panic attack. Freaked out. This is happening on that
You're
text.
doing something fun. That's all that matters right now.
I know.
It's fun here.
The water leaks out because the thing is it.
Alright, perfect-ish. There we go. We'll take this old sketch. We're gonna lasso that. And we're gonna do some stupid magic and we're gonna go wee! I'm running out of room to expand this.
I figured out why the fan speed went down a lot.
Why?
The filter was full of dust and air.
Oh.
Like bad. I was like, what? Like, I was like, I swear this fan goes higher speed and I couldn't figure out what was going on. But that's why.
There you go. Then we just phase the wazoo out of that layer. Pick another layer. And boom. Perfect. I'm so smart. So smart. Definitely smart. Okay. Here comes the fact that recyousarus needs all his bones modified, because this is wrong. Shoulder girdle should be down here, because we aren't magic. He's also going to actually hold his own skirt though. I might have the other arm out though, just for sure. How are you doing, Sindri? I think you're still on. I honestly see who's on the stream anymore. Like on Discord at least. I have it like chucked in the corner with only the chat like visible. We got a Discord stream and then a YouTube stream. We kind of trust Discord to stay on a little longer. I don't know. It would not be lying if I said that technically I'm on YouTube too right now. I just didn't care enough to do anything. I was like, Discord's easier anyways. I'm literally just using YouTube to kind of travel. I hate arms. Especially like I hate what arms do. You have like an elbow you have to figure out and you don't know how to figure it out. Cause it's an elbow. What do you do with an elbow? I don't know what a dinosaur's elbow looks like.
Remember you bend the elbow.
Oh my goodness, who's there? Whose elbows are hard. Hold on. I'm using my phone as like my Google search. Dinosaur arm.
Short and stubby.
Yes. This stuff is called dinosaur arm. Dinosaur arm. Please Google. Be nice to me. That was unhelpful. Where's Dinosaurus? Dinosaurus is better than nothing. No close-ups. I don't know. I might have to unclutch his arm just so I can have sanity. Unclutch the arm for sanity. I'm doing a side perspective. I technically, like, it's so sad. Let me show you guys. There he is. This is what I'm drawing. I'm just drawing him in a more portfolio looking way. That isn't so active. I just want to rest with him. No, come back, man. Just reset all my things. You're fine. See, this is like the type of elbow I know how to do. I don't know how to do like a fully like clutched in elbow. Struggle with that. This is a bird one, and he's kind of bird wings subjective. If you like dinosaurs are birds, but like the way you draw them is just different enough that you gotta know the differences. That looks woof. Dogs are doing sillies. Can you stop? Are we gonna stop?
Try your fish under.
Hi, you are just breathing down my neck.
As well.
I hear you too, baby warrior.
I haven't chosen my new
I
board.
love you too. You're
With
very
my
cute.
2 free items.
Hi.
So I'm not sure if it went through. Period. LOL.
Why do you want me?
I will be
Don't
choosing
shove all the things.
my items over the next hour so don't waste your
this
time
layer, and I'm gonna move that
doing
leg
hat
back
trick.
because it needs help. Just this legs. About there. Ish.
Unless your number is
There we go.
like 500
No, my outline is this.
or higher, comma,
I'm still using that tool.
I am 100% positive you will
Yeah,
need a
you
new
know,
user. I have not seen anyone have
It's amazing how
a board without needing a new user. Period. But I know they exist.
muscle.
Period. Just not very
My
common.
dog looked at my arm and I lost balance. Did I change my color? Nope, I just changed my opacity.
Okay, so yeah,
Kevin,
28 energy.
do you ever change your
You're
pencil
going to
color
need
without
two
meaning to change
users.
your pencil color? I've done it a lot. It's not great.
The 5 gifts you will not get for sure. Either. The 5 free gifts game, you have to have at least 42 clicks.
I feel like that's too thick. That's also too knobby, but that's easier to fix. Why does that feel too thick? You're being attacked by ghosts. My dog's being attacked by ghosts. We're being mutilated by a ghostie. And I just realized my pencil opacity was wrong the entire time. Yeah, yeah. Perfect. Oh my god. I'm not ready. Okay. There's a nice little body. There's a nice little body.
I need to remember to answer the
I
question.
do not mind
Period.
the screaming dog.
But I'm coming back to it. Period.
Or the little play fight barky things. I don't know how much you guys can hear of them, but they're fine. They really are fine. They're just being idiots. Because they can. Aren't you? Oh my goodness. They're just playing with each other. It's all they're making that noise for, that awful noise. This high pitched squealing is because they are playing with one another. They're having too much fun. Sorry, I just took a picture. Oh my goodness. Yes, this is funny. I'm talking about punting. Well, not punting. I'm talking about throwing virulent like a football. With Mad Cat. I don't think we would actually punt him, but now I have that in my brain. But throwing virulent like a football. Do that. We need to save. We need to save them. Keep their had to respond. Yes, my responses are that quick. I use speech to text with my savior. It is the best thing ever. Okay. I need to rotate this, so I stop doing that. This is ADHD drawing. This is called no focus. Here's what it's gonna be. I think, I mean, they're all relatively the same size, but it would be better, yes, it would be better. This was the longest. Man! So this one was the longest. This one was the second longest. And with the pinky who's rounding out, but their one source doesn't have that problem, so they're relatively the same size. Yeah, let's just do some temporary pause on it so I remember what that is. Get silent if I erase something. No, I don't want to select a character. Yes, I caught that one. Sometimes I don't catch it, and then I'm like, I don't know. It's like I realize I have my drawing.
Hey, hush.
There we go. And then we take from the tip and we go woo. Nope. Woo. Better. That's what we're gonna go with. Dinosaurs, they're little weird, pubic bone thing down there. It's because they're related to birds. That's why that exists. Because it's an anchor point for the thighs and the tail muscles in order to keep a strong amount of balance.
We all have no idea how she came back in, period. But I think it was before I turned on.
Okay. And then we need to redo the head.
The request code.
Because I think the neck length is fine. It's the head that's going to be a problem. There we go. This technically just goes like this. So I'll worry about the head art later. This little thing here is muffled. It's
Hey,
there.
Bridger, can you feed the cats, please? Can you please feed the cats? We'll have to grab the cat food outside.
Okay. And now we make his lovely, really awfully detailed face. And sometimes I ask myself, why did I do this? Why did I make it so they have so many bumps? And the answer is, well, it looks cool. That's the answer. It looks cool. I think that's a lot of answers for a lot of things. Why did I give Blue Moon so many varying different types of rays? He is a nightmare to draw every single time. Because you get to circle, circle's gonna be whatever the circle is. Circle you already have, I'm trying like 5 times already. Circles are already hard to do. And then you gotta do this awful math of like this awful internal math. This is the tiny one. This is the medium sized one. This is the medium long sized one. This is the really long sized one. This is the medium sized one. This is a small medium. This is another small medium. And I'm like, just let me draw his face already. I hate his rays. I love him. But I hate his rays, dear God. They're too complicated.
Just break them.
Break his rays. No, my favorite face Favorite
Just
face.
scar him a bunch, take off those rays, it'll be easier to draw.
It'll be easier to draw. Now, my favorite face is Blue Moon's angry face. Because it's just this. It's like, look! They're all relatively the same size! Think
Chainsaw.
happens, he's angry! He's not a nightmare! And plus his hat comes out. Everyone forgets Blue Moon technically has a hat. It's in
does?
there. Blue Moon's hat is in there. You can barely see it, but it's there. Blue Moon's hat is like, cause like, okay, if I was gonna describe it like technologically, okay, you have his rays, right? You have his neck bar thing. This is how the neck bar thing works in my AUs, by the way, if anyone ever wants to know. But you know, you have all these rays, and then you have this little line of fluff, like escaping what would be like a gap here. And like, at least like in my weird like, you know, daycare attendant, like how they work more. I think everyone has their own way of how it works. But the hat like floofs out from the edges, in my opinion. And like it pops out from the edges, it, you know, kind of explodes out the top and then flops over. That's how I imagine it. I don't know, I would say like imagine like, oh no, my thing, come back. I would imagine like, cause you have the rays that are gonna be stuck inside the head, right? And they're gonna, and then you have like, oh my goodness, I have to do this every once in a while because in the future it doesn't work. But like, I imagine the hat is just like in a separate little like super squished bundle, like one of those like have you ever like had like a pillow come through the mail and it's just airtight? That's kind of what I imagine. I imagine like the hat gets airtight in the hat, and then like a bar goes whoosh and like puffs it all out, and eventually like, you know, the hat tip comes out with it and just kind of flops into place. It's a lot of wild scribbles, but I hope that was understandable.
You have thought about it a lot more than I have.
No, it's what you get for being autistic.
It's magic, that's what I normally say.
It's magic. It's magic.
So I do like the little animations where like, sun transforms back into moon and the hat just kind of pops out of somewhere and it just always lands on his head, regardless of what's going on.
I think I've seen so many different versions of this. I have seen pops out of like I've seen pops out of stomach hatch. I've seen pops out of like I've seen, so I've heard the thing where it's like in their stomach hatch or something, like their chest pops up and like the hat just comes and they just quickly grab it and put it on their head. And then I've heard of things where it just kind of whoosh, kind of floops out, and it's like, well, how does it floop out? And I'm like, I don't know, a spring. And I'm like, that makes no sense.
Magic. Just
magic.
magic.
Like, I will make the best sense I can. It's not a very good sense. It's literally me saying that a metal bar, like, literally I am saying that a metal bar is inside these guys' head, inside the hat, that like collapses and extendos out, and it extends out like the hat bell thing and flops out the top. I don't know how else to explain it. All I know is that I've always imagined like the hat fluff is always just kind of at the edge, and it's like the bell of the hat that has to be pushed out, which is another issue. How does the bell of the hat fit inside a flat plate disc head thing? Like, how is a bell? I mean, that bell's
just magic.
It's magic. It's magic. It's, I don't know. I've always imagined it as there had to be a way to get the top out, like the bell top out. It's always been like a stick that's like a spring that kind of flops out and then retracts quickly back in. and like kind of lines up the fluff in order to like get it back in. I don't know.
It just has hammer space or something. There's just infinite space in there.
But Blue Moon has a hat. He has one. It exists. It is in there. Do I know what it looks like? I don't know.
I went back and I'm looking at I think he's at the convenience store or whatever, and he does. Yeah, I do see his fluff.
Yes.
I do see the fluff around his head.
He has this fluff. What was it? It was funny. Since Coyote, he was doing like a redesign, and I don't remember if anyone was there for the redesign images, but he did this redesign, and Blue Moon just had spikes everywhere. Like he had this row of tiny spikes where the fluff was, and I was like, "Did you turned his fluff into spikes?" He's wearing a hat, and they were just Godsmack. They were like, "That's a hat." And I'm like, "Yes, it's his hat." Dilophosaurus's mouth is so weird. Why is it like this? We don't know. But yeah, that was. It's always so funny, like when people don't know, and I'm like, "Yeah, that's his hat." And they're like, "The what?" It's a hat. I'm like, "Yeah, he's got a hat in there."
It's just those little details you don't notice until later.
Yeah, like he's called Blue Moon. He's like, yes, he was drawn as like a solar model because that's just kind of what happened. He was called Eclipse. So the computer's like, well, I'm gonna make this, new figure have, look the part. I'm gonna give this thing the name Eclipse. May as well let me look like an eclipse. Plus technically sun copy is a moon. Is a sun. Sorry. Sun copy is technically a moon creation. He is sun. I have had fleeting ideas if I should ever draw sun copy and red moon. I don't know if I should. I could. I have things set up for them. I really could. I don't know if I should because they don't exist. Like they aren't characters. Like they were people. They were people once, but they don't exist no more. They're dead. Basically.
They got put in a blender.
They got put in the blender that is Blue Moon.
Naughty Moons go in the pear wiggler.
Yes. But yeah, I don't know. I have some very rudimentary ideas of what they would look like. Like I have an idea, but I'm like, I don't know if I should ever really draw them because they're dead. Newsflash, they're dead. I don't know if I should draw some dead folk. I'm like, they don't exist. They're very much don't exist, and so I'm like, well, what do I do? I have this design in my head. It's a weird design. I don't know, like, oh goodness, we're gonna sketch out this design. This is we got a stick figure daycare attendant here. This looks wonderful. So, I mean, it just looks like a sun and a moon, or a blood moon, because you have sun copies just supposed to look like a generic sun, except having like lunar clothing, I guess, is what I would describe it. I have been trying to figure out what I would do with this weird idea of what these characters that don't really exist look like. Because, okay, it is canon in my brain. Like, this is an actual thing. Blue Moon cannot go into his mind space. He just can't. He's too jumbled. He doesn't, like, he has one, but he can't go into it no matter what he tries.
Could someone else go into it?
Probably. They could probably go into it.
Kind of like how Monkey went into Moon or whatever.
Yeah. Like you could, I feel like you could go into Blue Moon's mindscape, but
It might be an acid trip though.
Yeah, it's gonna be a mess because I've had like visions of what his mindscape would be, and like imagine like just like split like I haven't drawn these characters because the idea of what they would look like is the only place Sun Copy and Red Moon could theoretically exist is in the mind space, and I have always imagined like their designs and the mind space itself to look like someone spilled 1,000 colors over a blank canvas. Like it would literally just be paint splatters everywhere. And that's what Sun Copy and Red Moon would look like. Sure, they have more tones of red or yellow or whatever color it is. But like they would literally just look like someone threw a bunch of color on them in like random ass places. And so like I haven't drawn them because I know that's gonna be a nightmare. And I don't want to draw a nightmare. But yeah, I don't know. Here's Sun Copy for you. Freaking the most light ass drawing you've ever seen. But it was basically just Sun with Lunar's clothes, which I find adorable, kind of, in my mind. Like, just imagine, like, a tiny sun with Lunar's clothes on him. That's Sun Copy. And then, admittedly, Red Moon just looks like Werewolf. Werewolf's got a good design, I won't deny it. And that's all that Red Moon looks like. He takes some traits from Red Moon, like the Mer version, because that one, kind of exists, and I can do stuff with that one. He's not dead; he's a child. But it's still like, different things. It's interesting. Blue Moon's. I don't know how you would describe Blue Moon's landscape. Because, like I was eventually going to say, it would be the only place you would ever meet Red Moon and Sun Copy, and I don't even know if they could talk. Like, they would just be there. Like, you could
they just make noises.
Yeah, they just, I don't even know if they could make noises. They just kind of look at you. Like, they're there, and they're watching you, and they might try and like make gestures at you, but it always seems like they're doing like the same gesture. So it's like miming. I don't know. It's been an idea that I've kept like throwing away. I'm like, no, these characters are dead. They can't be in a mind space. Because I don't know how I would act out characters that are essentially one person. How do you describe a character's actions when they are theoretically one person? The answer is you don't. You give them. And you just say, well, they kind of exist. So I keep throwing this idea on the back burner, but it is an idea that if somebody did go into the mind space, they would find Red Moon and Sun Copy. Because it's the only place they theoretically could exist. Like, there's no other place they would have to exist in Blue Moon's mind space. Because Blue Moon himself can't go into his mind space. Because he doesn't have, like, a way to. It's just too jumbled for him. And that's, like, the problem. I'm like, I want to have him maybe go into the mind space for thingamajigs, because there's interesting stuff. But I'm like, I don't think that's a good idea. Because we're talking about a character who's mixed together so badly that you can't separate them. So I don't know. It's an idea thrown around, but I've ignored for the most part. Because I just don't know what I would do with it. it's such a strange idea. Well, I got most of him looking alright. Let's get these feetsies, these nice little feetsies out. I'm so happy for tomorrow. We are going to a giant thing. We are going to a Jurassic Park, like arena thing. I don't know if this is gonna be too way out of the world. But you can go to these big events where there's giant dinosaur robots walking around. And I am very, very excited to watch giant robots walk around. That foot looks ginormous. It's because the leg is too thick. Bless you, my darling. I talk to my pets way too much. I love my animals. They're good. Thank you, Warrior. Are you singing? Yeah? Oh, you're so cute. Oh my goodness, I love her. Do you have pets? Who has pets? I demand to know the number of fuzzies you have, if you have any. If you do not have fuzzies, give me scalies. I wish to know, because I have 5 cats and 2 dogs. Which, yes, is a lot for a household, but we do.
Got 2 cats.
2 kitty cats?
Yes.
Got
Both of them are black. That was not intentional.
Yeah, I mean, we got my black baby, and then we have our tuxedo man. We think they're related. We really hope they are, but they seem to hate each other, so maybe they aren't related. All we know is that they are children, and they are the most annoying little shits to each other. They are very vaguely described as they do not like each other, but they love each other. Like a sibling relationship is a
Yeah, that sounds like siblings.
Yes. Whether or not they actually like each other is up to your imagination. But they don't. We don't know. Cats are an enigma. Yes. I gotta get back into Cruel Copy. I'm okay leaving Cruel Copy alone, to be honest. Especially when the event with Blue Moon going to Stop You Silly Siren. Which is, I need asks. I can't do anything. I'm like, in the boat. At least I can time skip and Stop Your Silly Siren, because he's gonna be there for 2 weeks. Which is gonna be fun to try and, like, translate to people. They're like, oh, let's ask a question for this scenario. And I'm like, no. It's the next day. I don't know how that's gonna go. I should probably put a counter so people know when the day is gonna change. Because I think otherwise they're just gonna be very lost.
Oh, yeah.
The Cruel Copy's been put on this already, which is kind of fine. It's just a small ass series. But there is stuff going on. And so, I am getting to the point where I'm just gonna start putting stuff out on the red, blue, and black. Not the red, blue, and black. Red, blue, and black has been made into a place where I chuck Blue Moon into different universes. The Blue Moon and Black Star show, though, I'm about to just be chucking lore into there whenever I feel like it. Because I need lore in there badly. Because I am sick of holding a chokehold on the lore of Earth. I'm like, I know exactly what I'm going to do, but I haven't put out anything because I want it to be a secret, and I'm sick of it being a secret. I'm like, I've learned some people block like the Earth tag because they want it to be a secret too, and I'm like, oh, crap. I can't just publish it one day. You gotta keep it secret a little bit. So now I'm stuck. I haven't checked Tumbler like I never. I like to rant. I was practicing Lunar's voice today, which was funny. I like to practice Lunar's voice. It's childish. Yes. Childish and doesn't sound like you haven't drinking water. But then again, I'm a girl, so that's kind of struggle. It's a struggle to sound like a boy. I will not deny. For those of you who can pull that off, you lucky. I cannot. I mean, okay, that's a lot. I could probably do it fairly alright, but I just don't like it. I don't like my male voice because it feels very fake. How do I? Nope. Guys. Kind of. Maybe. Why does my pen keep doing that? I know what I'm missing. I'm missing the ridge for the thumb. He does not have a thumb, but there is a ridge for one. It's called Little Spanky. Because I don't think Therizanosaurus has a thumb. I don't think they have a visual thumb. I'm gonna go double check. Feel good. Therizanosaurus. Wow, you actually were smart enough to actually read that. Thank you. Yeah, they don't have a thumb. They got fingers. They got death fingers. If you're wondering what this is, it's recyousarus. Made by a child. You're welcome. He's one of my yearly redraws. Does anyone have yearly redraws? I know people draw in here. Because I have yearly redraws. It's called these guys. It's called recyousarus Jacko Cat. One of my OCs for the birthday. Yes. That's basically the redraws. For the most part. There's others that I sometimes draw. Okay, we're starting to get to the detailing, of which I am very, very scared of this man's back. What is your theory on Earth? Like with what you've learned? I am intrigued to know what the idea is.
Sorry, what? I was doing something and I zoned out.
Ah, zoning, that's fine. What is the theory on Earth? What is the ideas?
I've kind of gotten the impression that, she is kind of conditioning Blue Moon to kind of side with her over, Sun or Moon. Kind of conditioning might not be the right word, but kind of trying to make, herself the priority in regards to, the rest of the siblings.
Yeah, it's pretty close. You got a good handle. I'm assuming you've read the one story I've had with her.
I believe so. Blue Moon was like, resting
Yes.
their head on her lap or whatever, and she was doing something, and Black Star was kind of suspicious. Doing something.
Doing something, a bad sin. It's pretty close. It's like the coding way of conditioning. I don't know. I'm like, I am so done of keeping secrets about what she's doing, and so I'm like, I just want to tell people. But I don't want to give spoilers if you don't want any.
I'm perfectly fine with spoilers for the most part.
Okay, I'm gonna spill because I need to spill to somebody. I'm so tired of keeping this secret. I'm like, ugh.
A secret of your own making.
A secret of my own making, and I'm like, dang it. There's some like with a lot of other things that just kind of throw plot. Like Cruel Coffee doesn't have a plot. I don't need a plot. Blue Moon didn't have a plot. Red Moon and Black didn't have a plot at first. And then I was like, but what about Earth? And I was like, oh, I got something. And then I added Black Star. I'm like, now I can make this something real. And now I'm like, crap, now I have a secret and I don't like it. But in short, it's basically what you said. She has, and will start basically mind controlling Blue Moon to in short, like you said, serve her. But it's not a good type of serve. It's not like she wants to become the center of their attention.
She is the creator's daughter.
She is the
presumably.
creator's daughter, and that's the big thing. I am not sure if I want to make this canon, but she's been lost forever. The channel's been on for 2 years. Okay? Right? The standard channel, okay?
Yeah.
Blue Moon's timeline is compressed. Whoosh. You compress the whole thing. Okay? Like the first, what I would call the timeline of the channel, okay? Like the normal channel timeline in Red, Blue, and Black has been compressed into almost 6 months.
That is quite short.
Yes, it is quite short. I have taken out a lot of filler, and I've just taken what I've needed. I've compressed it, and that is technically the normal timeline compressed in Red, Blue, and Black. Meaning Earth, okay? Remember this. Earth should have come by the end of those 6 months. She has been missing for about 1.5 years.
Yeah, that doesn't sound good.
No, it's
and
not.
Nobody's looked for her, because
Nobody's looked for her, because they were panicking. And then Moon got taken over by their kill code. The star got lost, and lost quotation marks. I think everyone knows what happened to Star at this point. And she was supposed to come at the end of all that. No one's looked for her. They've both been kill code forever. They don't give a crap when she actually comes home. Okay? It's been 2 years about. And they didn't do anything. And I don't know if I want to make a canon that she returned to the creator. I don't know if I want to make that canon. I don't know if I want to say, either the creator came looking for her because, she was definitely lost, or if she just walked around and the creator never looked for her either. Either way, she's basically been thoroughly abandoned. And so Blue Moon is an animatronic eater.
Num num.
Eats animatronics. The creator's body is currently an animatronic. Her brothers are currently animatronics. Everyone who is in that Pizzaplex and in that world that is at least important enough to the plot for me to mention them are animatronics. Blue Moon can eat every single one of them. She wants him to be her beloved sister, who will make
the executioner.
so the world disappears. Blue Moon in her mind is a nice little murder machine. And she is ready to do that. I also, I don't know if I've mentioned this in many places. I think I made a post about it once, about how stupid, cruel this is. Okay, Blue Moon is like, I think it's considered like agender or bi.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, right? They don't really care about their gender. They can be called anything. I cannot draw this nose. But they will take about anything. Okay? They don't care. But usually but the idea is that you call them whatever you think they are. You know, they could be they, because they don't care. Or they could be he, because you see their body type and you think a he. Or maybe you look at their body type and they think they're a girl. Or maybe you look at the action. It doesn't really matter. Point is, they're supposed to be, the idea is that you call them by what you think they want to be represented. Blue Moon, that is. Like, if you think Blue Moon is, a girl or a boy or whatever, you just call them that because you think that's what they're supposed to be, or what they want to be in that scene. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Earth is calling them she, not because she thinks that's what they want, but because she wants a sister. She isn't, when she calls out to Blue Moon and says, hey girl, or whatever, she's not calling out to them because she thinks that's what they want to be. She's calling out to them like that because she wants a sister. Which isn't the intention. Like, you can't, at least in my mind, I think it's a little cruel to call somebody by a gender you want them to be, instead of what you think they are.
Yeah.
And that's a thing that Earth does, and I hate it, but it's perfect for the villain kind of thing. It's like, she doesn't call them by, what she actually thinks they are. She just calls them by what she wants, which is awful in my opinion. And Blue Moon doesn't realize it because they're just assuming that that's what they think they are. But it's not, and it's kind of evil to think about when you're the only one that thinks about it. But yeah, Earth is going to basically ask Blue Moon to go on a murder spree, starting with Sun and Moon.
Fun.
Yeah, she's, whether I don't, because the timeline's really, really funky, the creator, or whatever he's going to do, has probably either told Earth, or Earth, figured out something, and she kind of joined in, and is like, I'm going to use this animatronic that eats robots, and I'm going to force them to eat their friends. And that's when Black Star comes in. Oh my goodness, am I glad I added Black Star. Because
gotta have a little bit of balance.
Yeah, because before there wasn't anything to stop Earth's plan. Her murder mission would have just happened.
I mean, it could still just happen.
It could still just happen. But with Black Star, now there's somebody who can actually put up like an opposition that is there watching this happen. Because in that first story, Black Star saw.
to, but
Black Star saw what she
I don't
was
know
doing.
what happened with my vaccine watch.
Okay?
Yes.
And so he can actually be like, okay, this is awful.
Oh, dang it, it stopped at what?
Because we don't know what's happening. We don't know what's happening
Well,
with
it's
the
changing
Sun
to
and Moon show right now. But it's suggested that it's something really, really bad. Okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
And the idea is that he knows what bad looks like. Whatever future vision he had, he knows what bad looks like. And whenever he figures out what Earth is actually doing, he's gonna be like, this is awful. It's supposed to be a similar type to bad that is currently happening with whatever was going to happen with you know, in the main arc. Whatever is happening there is what Earth's gonna do is on the similar level. The idea is that she's copied the creator's plans.
So that's what I've been doing.
She is like, oh, you're gonna do that thing? Guess what? I'm gonna do it before you. That's the idea, is that she's trying to out-compete her creator. Which is why I'm not sure if she's going to be allies with her creator or not. Because she's out-competing him. In some way or form. She is trying to beat him. And using Blue Moon to do that. And I am so stoked and worried about how that's going to plan out. Because Black Star is sure as hell not going to be a fan of the idea of basically whatever tragedy is supposed to happen is happening to like his brother. Like his brother is the catalyst, basically. His new younger brother. Which I still find so funny every single time I say it. You are the older brother, Black Star. Have good luck. Your brother hates you. But yes, that's the plan with Earth, and basically, that's why Blue Moon is following Gaia around, because she's made it so Blue Moon wants to follow her around, because he's supposed to be a dog.
That's a little rude.
Yeah, Blue Moon is supposed to be very cat-like in a lot of things. I'm sure that's been thoroughly noticed. Blue Moon kitty, okay? Blue Moon equal cats. Earth is trying to turn him into a dog. Which isn't good for anyone. But Blue Moon's being turned into a dog because she wants that type of control. And that's the bad part, is she's getting that type of control. Because at first, I think I mentioned it somewhere, at first Black Star tries to join her. He's like, sure as hell, if you stay away from me, I'll do your plan with you, sort of thing, you know? He doesn't want to control. He doesn't want to do anything with her, because technically she was going to do something with him. And still might. I don't know if I'm going to have her do this, but the idea is that she does a similar sort of dog training on Black Star. Basically also forcing him to act nothing like, himself, and just kind of do things for her mindlessly. And there, like, another thing with the whole Blue Moon meeting Gaia, he's naturally aggressive towards. I didn't mention this because it just didn't. It was summer, or not summer. It was spring, and Blue Moon's already hates eclipses. But Blue Moon technically hates everyone while he's around Gaia.
Rude.
Yes. Blue Moon technically is being a little, what most people would probably see as a little snipe around everyone when he's around Gaia. He just suddenly gets really rude and really distant and doesn't seem to be interacting with anyone. But that's just RBB Earth's coding. She's making it so Blue Moon, when around her, gets extremely aggressive and acts like a guard dog. She's making him a dog. Or they. I always call him him. Supposed to be they. I think it's so funny when I'm typing up Blue Moon stuff, and like I'm constantly switching between they and he, and I'm like, what? But they are becoming her aggressive defense dog. And Black Star knows this, and that's why he's like, oh no. You know, I can't have Blue Moon around other Earths because suddenly my brother, who is this sweet little fella who just wants to make friends, who is incredibly lonely, is suddenly getting so snarly with everyone around him that like no one can walk around him. And that's a problem. Because Blue Moon's nice. He's not good, but he's nice. He's trying to become less impulsive. But he can't do that if his brain is being basically triggered to want to murder everyone around him. And that's like the problem. Not only is Blue Moon stuck with this mental incapability to not care for his brothers, but he's also being slowly mind controlled to basically hate other animatronics naturally. It's not a great mix. Why can't I draw this tail? But that's the idea. That's like what I have in plans. This is probably only going to be subtly noticeable in any crossovers until like I fully do anything. But like you're like Earth interact with Gaia, and I'm like, it's not gonna work, because at least like without Gaia around or without any Earths around, Blue Moon just kind of gets headaches every once in a while. He's like around an animatronic and suddenly he gets this burning headache and this really aggressive stretch. But like specifically around Earths, it's very, very potent. And I'm like, when you're gonna get spoilers. I'm like, warning. There's not much I can do because I'm not gonna just ignore this factoid about what's happening with Blue Moon. Because I think I've made it somewhat obvious that there's some things that just trigger Blue Moon's headaches, at least the headaches part. And most of it involves murder.
Murder, snacks, Earth.
Murder, snacks, hunger. It is so sad that Blue Moon is affected by these things. He really does not deserve it. If Red Moon, okay, take this into consideration. If Red Moon did not exist in Blue Moon's code, he would just be Sun Copy, and he would be the nicest little bloke. He would just be this nice...
Traumatizes Sun Copy.
Traumatized Sun Copy. Yes, probably. Poor Sun Copy.
I mean, Sun Copy probably wouldn't have a very fun time with his brothers.
No. I mean, technically, like, Sun Copy... Because you have to remember, both Red Moon and Sun Copy were failures that were shoved away. They were, at some point, fully conscious and alive. And then and then Moon chucked them in the computer and turned them off. the next time they awoke, they were one.
Well, that sounds traumatizing.
Not that it's not traumatizing to them because at that point they were dead.
Okay, but if either of them even had the slightest idea of what was happening,
no,
like...
they didn't. All they know is that they, like, if we were talking, like, okay, let's imagine that we'd go into the mind space and you can actually talk to Sun Copy and Red Moon. They don't know anything. They just know that, like,
they've been taking a very long nap.
Yeah, they're like, oh, hello. Hi, what are you doing inside of here? We've been stuck here for a while. Who are you? Like
would Sun Copy freak out a little bit about the fact that everything looks like there's paint splatters everywhere? Would he be concerned about the...
Like I said, I'm not sure how they would act in a mind space scenario because they are technically Blue Moon at that point. But if they if they were able to, like, mentally separate themselves from Blue Moon while in the mind space, basically, kind of, he wouldn't freak out, but because you have to remember, like, Sun Copy is like 4 years old. He's a baby. He's supposed to be like a child. Like 8 years old at most.
He's the same age as those children Moon killed.
He's supposed to be a toddler. So I'm like, yeah, Sun Copy's probably traumatized, but they probably also don't exactly know what's happening. Red Moon, on the other hand, probably would figure out what the hell is happening, but he's also insanely crazy. Because he's a blood moon. He was too aggressive for not Blue Moon. I keep saying Blue Moon. I hate the fact that Blue Moon is called Blue Moon because I keep messing him up with RBB Moon. But I can't just call him Blue because then it sounds like I'm talking about Art Out of the Blue. Mini rant.
Yeah.
But essentially, like, Red Moon would be like, this is off. I'm gonna go eat something. Basically, I don't know, something along those lines. Or he's like, what happened? I'm gonna go numb on something. Can I numb on something in here? Why is there no food? Is like the generic idea of how I would imagine that dialogue would go out.
So Red Moon probably would understand that Sun Copy is not for eating in some manner.
Well, that's where I'm like, I don't know how that would work. Because, at least in Red Moon's case, he was built specifically to, like, demolish code. So he might try and eat Sun Copy, but would just be unable to because they are one person, and it would be like trying to kill yourself. Yeah.
Bites Sun Copy and suddenly feels pain.
Yes. Something like that. He would basically be, biting himself. And so, like, I don't know, if anyone tried to separate Red Moon and Sun Copy from Blue Moon, and, like, legitimately tried to separate them instead of trying to keep Blue Moon's consciousness, it would be like tearing them apart by just trying to untangle one.
New evil plan for Earth. Red Moon is her dog, and then she gets a cute little sibling in Sun Copy.
No. That's awful. Earth's plan is already awful and really insane. I don't think we need
This is my pocket
more
siblings.
Awful. More awful. We have more awful. I have had, like, a mini thought on, like, what if the computer didn't make Blue Moon and just reawoken Red Moon and Sun Copy? And I'm like, that would be a weird scenario. I'm like, that wouldn't work out well. Because you have a toddler and then an adult who is crazy. It wouldn't work out for a computer.
I mean, like, Sun and Moon might have a alright-ish time with their new toddler child that they must look after and not fight.
I mean,
Because
it
there's
might
toddler in
help
their
that
presence.
Sun Copy is a child, but then you have Red Moon over there who's just trying to eat them.
They just put him outside. It's not their problem anymore.
Red Moon outside. Poor Red Moon. I don't think any version of Blue Moon deserves anything that they do, but still, it's not good. Their lives aren't good. They need snuggles.
I will snuggle Sun Copy and Blue Moon. I'm not just keen on snuggling with Red Moon unless he's eaten and is sleeping.
Yeah. I mean, you could probably treat them with the same sort of caution you would give Red Moon. I've explained that child a little bit. But Red Moon is basically just Red Moon, but I gave him a body. False Star isn't quite Sun Copy because he's not young; he's older. But Red Moon he's basically just how I imagine Red Moon, and he's a crazy little guy who's just out for your blood. So that's kind of how it would go. He's crazy. Just kind of imagine Red Moon, but alive and animatronic. They aren't nice. They're crazy.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. They're crazy. But yeah, that's the plan with Earth. She's making a dog, and she's making Blue Moon aggressive. And with the idea, I don't know how much I'm going to show it off. I know I want headaches to be a really big part of it, though. Like that's because Blue Moon does not want to be aggressive. Blue Moon does not want to do the things that Earth's meddling is doing. But it's also like immediate. Like it's like plugging a command code into a computer. It just kind of happens. But the headache, at least in the beginning of Earth's meddling, is like Blue Moon's own, I guess, sort of mindscape, I would guess. Mindscape coding is like, wait, hold on, what are you doing? Like instinct. I would describe it as Blue Moon's instinct fighting against Earth's code.
Earth's code is the task manager, and Blue Moon's like, wait, no, I was running that.
Yeah.
I'm not running this.
It is basically Blue Moon's just the headache sparks because he's like, what is this? It's like the virus that basically Earth has made is giving him a headache because that's not what his code is supposed to do. It's supposed to be sort of like how I view the Vanny virus. If I ever write any other Sun and Moon thing, that's how the Vanny virus kind of works. It's okay. It doesn't work like that in why am I not thinking of this?
Security breach?
No. This is how I view most of Security Breach, like Vanny virus, but it's not the same as in, why can't I think of this? Medical Mechanic, which is the one with Ralph the Repair Dragon. That one's like blackmail. That one's blackmail. But in most other stories, that's how it works. Is it's like a headache that's an instant command that you don't want to do. I would describe it as how it works in the warehouse AU. You probably have no context for what I'm talking about.
Not really.
Goodness, how do I shorten this? Warehouse is an AU where Sun Moon has one body, Freddy, Bonnie, Foxy, and DJ all get transferred over to a warehouse that is basically being transformed into a mini pizzaplex like sort of like a side attraction pizzaplex. Like, have you ever gone to like those big buildings where it's just like a building, like an arcade building that's in a warehouse? Same sort of idea, but it's a mini pizzaplex and it's a much bigger warehouse. But they're renting out this warehouse from somebody, which is basically the YN or main character or whatever. And they're like, I'm not going to let you rent out this warehouse without me being in control of my warehouse. You aren't buying my warehouse. And so that's how that kind of starts. And like Sun and Moon are still infected by the virus.
Both of them are infected by the virus?
Both of them are infected by the virus. Because Sun is not good with his safety. Is the thing. He's not child safe, to put it in short. Earth is still murder, not Earth. Moon is still murder crazy, but they're both infected by the virus, but it only affects their security codes. And so once YN, the warehouse, person, I'm gonna call them a YN because it's basically what they're supposed to be. But once YN in the warehouse AU takes out the virus, both Sun and Moon are traumatized by their security code activating. And so they go into like mini panic attacks when they have their security code. And basically they throw that around. And so what YN does is they take this security drone. Okay, they've had this security drone for their warehouse, and this drone just flies around. And they've given this, like, the YN in warehouse has some coding expertise, so they know what they're doing. But they take this drone that they've made. Okay, it's got a tiny bit of AI. It can enjoy some stuff, but it's, more like a fake thing. So they take this security drone and they chuck it in Moon and Sun's system in order to act as their security code for them. And in my mind, like the Fazbear coding body is what gives them sentience. And so suddenly the security drone gets sentience.
Hey, now there's 3 of us.
Now there's 3 of us. And there's this baby. Basically, they aren't a baby, I want to describe them as, but they're just a brand new AI who's like, I can think now. What is feeling? And so
they understand their job, but like street smart wise, they don't know what's going on.
Yeah, they don't know what's happening. And
they don't know how to open the door. They understand there's a door, but they don't know how to use it yet.
Yeah, they're like, this is body. I have body. I open doors. Because it was a drone before. So like in my mind, okay, so this security drone that has been put into Sun and Moon is basically Eclipse, but they're technically an OC because their name is Dim. They are Dim. They have the generic colors of like they have the generic colors of like basically like a policeman mixed in with a safety vest. Like the yellow safety vest. That is their colors. I have never drawn this character. Well, okay, I did draw this character. He's in my header. You can see him. He has the instrument in his hands. But that's Dim. And Dim takes over the concerts because in the warehouse AU, because there's so much less animatronics, the daycare attendants are made to also do performances, but Sun and Moon don't know how to, so Dim does it for them. Dim is the security. Dim is a new AI. You don't know what's going on. And so that's how my virus works. It's only in the very beginning, but the virus basically, that's how it works in my mindset. is that it's like this headache-inducing pain that makes you get aggressive. But in Ralph's story, medical mechanic or mechanical medic is what that's what it's called. Mechanical medic. Mechanical medic. I do have a couple drawings of that character actually. It is, and I love this idea. Okay. Ralph is a mechanical dragon that acts as the other animatronics. Why have I lost the word? Mechanics. He just acts as the mechanic for the animatronics. But in order to, because they got Ralph the dragon, like his body. They got Ralph's body from another company. And they don't want to they just want this animatronic to start doing stuff. So the body only came with a basic AI, which is Ralph. But he had no other coding. And so Fazbear Code just takes a bunch of notebooks from some dead mechanics from the Pizzaplex and scans them into Ralph's coding. Which then become 3 souls that now inhabit Ralph's body. It's a little confusing how they all work. It is. Does
that mean there's 4 people in there?
There is 4 people in Ralph's body. You have Ralph, you have the red spirit, you have the blue spirit, and then you have the hazel spirit. Technically, they're all YNs. All the spirits just go by YN names. But red is angry, blue is soft and kind, and hazel is a joker. And then there's Ralph.
A joker.
A joker, yes.
Pushing people into the vat of acid.
he's the class clown sort of person. And then you have Ralph, who just sounds like a tired worker. He is basic AI. And
he didn't sign up for that shit.
He did no, he did not. I don't know if you can hear the enclave of cat meows. The cats are being fed. But so hi, darling. But in Mechanical Medic, the virus acts a lot more like blackmail. Where basically the animatronics have to do what the virus tells them. Or then the virus does something to them. Whether that's basically destroying their coding or causing them great pain, either way, it acts more as a blackmail. You know, it's like, you better murder this child, or else I'm gonna make you, feel bad. And I'm gonna make you murder them anyway. Sort of situation. Not that the virus is a voice, but that's basically how it works. And so Ralph is a mechanic dragon who isn't affected by the virus because he's brand new. And because he's a mechanic, like he's the only mechanic in the Pizzaplex, Vanessa or Vanny, whatever way you believe it goes, cannot infect Ralph because he's like, I don't need my code checked. I check my own code. Because he's a mechanic. He doesn't need anyone else to check on him because he can literally repair himself. Like, he can isolate his own code to do repairs. So he doesn't get infected, or has at least this blackmail virus sort of situation. So he has to go around and figure out that the virus is blackmail and be like, I'm going to remove that virus, and yada yada yada. The fire happens, he kills the bunny. I love Mechanical Medic. I need to write it down one day. It's such a good story. It is such a good story. I don't know. Do you want to hear about other AUs? I have a lot of them. I have plenty. Give me water.
If you want to talk about them, you can. I am kind of glazing over the different tags.
The different tags? Oh, you're you're quickly looking up the other ones. I mean, I could tell you here, if you can keep blazing over the tags, but I'll just keep spitting because that's what ADHD does. It allows you to just keep talking. But essentially you have need to draw a spike. My other AU, the one, okay, so Stop You Silly Siren is happening in like Red, Blue, and Black. Like you can ask these characters right now, so I may as well talk about them. Because you can actually interact with them. Hooray!
Magical.
Magical. So, Stop You Silly Siren. Oh my goodness, I didn't think it would get as many likes as I thought it would. And I'm glad I decided to put that poll up weeks before I decided to actually do anything. Because I would have no plan. And I still don't really, but I have more of a plan now. But Stop You Silly Siren is a silly, it's your generic, I wanted to make a pirate AU. I wanted to make a pirate AU. I was like, I'm gonna go make a pirate AU because I want to make a pirate AU. Okay? I make the pirate AU. It is called Stop You Silly Siren. You have... Why did you get me in a jar? It's alright. My brother just gave... I asked him for some water and he got a mason jar.
Is there water in it?
There's water in the mason jar. Why is it in a mason jar? Couldn't you find a cup? There's cups in the dryer. Or washers. I swear there is. Oh well, water's water. But in Stop You Silly Siren, you have Captain Eclipse, you have First Mate Sun, and then you have Moon, who is their navigator, and also the Silly Siren. Basically.
He's allowed on the ship still?
So, okay, here's the fact. They don't know he's the siren. They don't know he's a siren. They just think he's a strange looking human. Well, at least Sun does. Sun is a new sailor. He's first mate because he's the only mate there.
So like it's just 3 people on this ship?
It's 3 people on this ship because of Moon. Captain Eclipse has hired many a crew member. But there isn't a lot of animatronics who he's been able to accrue, okay? So he's got a lot of human crew. He keeps hiring this human crew. And and Moon comes over and eats him.
Well, at least he's not eating Sun.
He's putting Sun to sleep constantly so he can eat the others. He is a siren who is following their ship because, you know, so here's the thing with sirens, at least in Stop You Silly Siren. Sirens, of course, can lull people and make them go into the water and drown, okay? That's still part of the lore, but that's only for humans. Animatronics, they go to sleep. It's like an enhanced lullaby, okay?
Well, I mean, technically the humans are probably going to sleep too. They're just dying.
They're just dying. They're sleepwalking. I guess the difference is that humans are sleepwalking, animatronics are not.
Animatronics, the limbs just lock up. It's bedtime.
Yeah, that's basically the idea. You know, they're shutting down. And so Moon's following around Captain Eclipse's ship because, well, he keeps hiring people. Sun's a very nice guy. They keep getting people who want to be a part of their crew. And, you know, Moon eats them. And could they hire the other Glamrocks? They could have. if they weren't already a crew themselves. The Glamrocks are already a crew. They are their own crew, which is why Captain Eclipse can hire them. Because they're already a crew. So he's stuck with what he's got, which is nobody except for Sun, who is basically Sun is like his grandchild. And so Sun is. So okay, here's the thing. Here's the point that this rant was getting off of. Eclipse knows that that Moon is a siren. Captain
Why
Eclipse
does he keep hiring
knows.
people? He's just feeding him.
I know. That's the silly part. Eclipse is trying to get rid of Moon constantly. He doesn't ask for Moon's help, he tells him to go away. But the point is, Captain Eclipse is old. He's an old animatronic. There's a reason Sun, who like I said is like his grandchild. So he's not actually, he's not like, I guess if we're going by like family tree, he's not Eclipse's kid. Okay? Because
they're both solar models.
They're both solar models, but like technically in Stop You Silly Siren they kind of can have kids, but like it's like code kids, kind of like in like iRobot, I guess. I don't know. But like, so he's just a grandchild. The reason Sun was brought out to help Captain Eclipse, like was chucked out to go on the ocean with Captain Eclipse, is because his parents are like, dude, this man's getting old. I don't know how he's still steering. Now Captain Eclipse is no joke. He is quite a strong sailor, okay? But he is old, which means Captain Eclipse's sight is actually really bad. I don't know if you've looked on RBB Ask since the event started, but it was one of the first things I mentioned is that he wore a big fluffy hat and his eyes were glitchy. Captain Eclipse is halfway blind.
Yeah, it says he's partially blind.
Yeah, he's partially blind. And so Sun doesn't believe him when he screams, Earth is a siren.
That Moon is the siren.
Yeah, Moon is a siren. I was talking about Earth for so long. But so Sun's like, no, he's not a siren. He looks weird, but he's not a siren. He's just a human.
Don't be racist.
Don't be racist. And Eclipse is like, but he is! And so it's not Eclipse that's keeping Moon on the ship. It's Sun.
Sun's like, this is my new best friend. Yeah, he looks weird, but he's cool.
Like, this is my only friend other than you, Grandpa. Please. And that's the genericness. Is that basically, no matter what Eclipse says, Sun doesn't want to get rid of Moon, and Moon's just laughing his ass off. Because he's like, you can't do nothing, you old man. And so he's stuck as their navigator. Which also, another thing, First Mate Sun sucks. He does not know how to steer a ship. He does not know how to row a rowboat. He knows nothing about the ocean.
Does he know how to swim at least?
I don't know if I want to make him be able to swim. I am on the edge of Sun not knowing how to swim in Stop You Silly Siren. Because he's literally...
Do you have any flotation devices? Or are we just sinking him to the bottom of the ocean?
He might, I don't know, man. I do think animatronics would float in Stop You Silly Siren, except for Moon. Blue Moon is going to sink. Blue Moon's not gonna have a good time.
He's animatronic, so his stomach's heavy.
Yeah, he's so like in Stop You Silly Siren, animatronics are more so built as like weird human amalgamation sort of thing. And so like, you know, they can't float, they can't swim, they can't breathe in a way. There's some perks, like Eclipse and Sun don't really need to breathe. So like, they could chill out on the ocean floor if they want to. Will they? No, it's not exactly great for their systems to stay down there for so long, or at least
That'd be a long walk back.
Yeah, it would be a long walk back. So they can, but they don't want to. But basically, I don't know how much I want Sun to actually have the ability to swim. He might not be able to swim. He might be able to swim. I don't know. It might be silly for him not to be able to swim, so I might make it so he's able to swim, just so I don't have to explain how this boy even survived a couple weeks on that ship. But either way, in Stop You Silly Siren, they're just shenanigans. They play out similar to Sea of Thieves if you've ever played that game.
I have not.
Okay, so in Sea of Thieves, you go out, you kill skeletons, you get bounties for these skeletons, and you do all this stuff, and you can go kill this boss over here, or you can go dig this treasure over here, or you can go join this alliance and go get a bunch of skulls and stuff. It's basically the same thing, but instead with fantastical creatures, it's more so, go kill this human. But same sort of thing. Basically video game trope of them going places. I thought, for like a semi-realistic scenario. But they basically, Sun's just helping Eclipse go around doing just stuff. Killing this outpost here, plundering this island over here, that sort of stuff. It's just silly stuff. Not that Sun enjoys doing all this silly stuff, but at least he's not dying. In his vein.
Let me show you something that's like a couple seconds long.
Okay, what are you showing me?
That's on the cat. That's the pattern on the top of the cat's head.
That's really?
Watch.
Okay, my mom stopped showing me stuff.
I'm telling you this.
But yeah, that's how it goes. And okay, I don't know. You might have read this, but I think I had a conversation with Mad Cat about what if Blue Moon, animatronic Blue Moon, met up with baby Mer Knight,
who's like the size of his fist or smaller, and he's terrified of them.
He's terrified. He's terrified of him. Blue Moon does not like the ocean. Blue Moon is going to hate Stop You Silly Siren. He is going to be shaking in the middle of the boat for most of this.
This event is for talking to Stop You Silly Siren. Blue Moon's just kind of there.
Blue Moon's just kind of here. Blue Moon's just over here shaking in the corner. He'll be fine. Blue Moon does not like the ocean. Blue Moon can also drown.
Yeah, that's probably not good.
Like, in Stop You Silly Siren, like I said, they can sit down on the bottom of the ocean floor if they want to. Okay? Is it good for their systems? No. Eventually the pressure's gonna build, but basically, a human can stand, an hour. These animatronics, I say an hour with confidence. A human cannot stay underwater for an hour. Please do not do that. But a human
not
can
with that attitude.
but a human can stay underwater for a good, probably 15 minutes at the longest, right?
Sure.
I think that, I don't know what the record is. Hold on. What is the record for holding your breath? What is the world record for holding your breath underwater? Underwater. No, 42 minutes. Alrighty.
That is
you
a
can
while.
apparently hold your breath for 24 minutes. If you do. And of course that's saying like that's a really, person who's practiced. I think most people, are on the lower end, of that. But the point is, like an animatronic could sit on the seafloor in like, let's say like not a relative, like he could sit like in a pool, on the bottom of the pool for like probably a day before he has to get back out of the water, okay? That's kind of how the animatronics work in Stalker Soda Siren. They're just gonna do that crap, because, they're an animatronic. Blue Moon is not waterproof all the way. Blue Moon, he gets under the water, and he basically has a timer until his systems start to take in water. Blue Moon can drown.
That's not very fun.
This is why Blue Moon hates the water. Blue Moon can literally die if he's in the water. Now, is he going to probably shut down first? Yes. He's probably going to shut down first, and some lubber can, drag him out of the water and dry off his systems and pray. But if Blue Moon's underwater for too long, he will die. So Blue Moon hates the water. He hates sea creatures in the water because, at least to Blue Moon, so I've added this in every once in a while. Blue Moon doesn't like things that are bigger than him. Blue Moon is terrified of things that are bigger than him. He's like, oh my goodness, I'm going to die. Because he's so big that it's weird for an animatronic to be bigger. And it's even scarier when it's some wild creature that's bigger than him. And so Blue Moon hates the ocean because everything's bigger than him.
How big is Moon? Normal Moon. Siren Moon. Is he big?
Moon? Siren Moon is probably going to be around the same size as my other Mer AU, which is not connected to Sun and Moon Show at all. It is, that one is Safe Waves. But Safe Waves is around like 15 to 20 feet-ish, probably more so 15 feet. So, Siren Moon is around that same length, but he's probably bigger because he is technically bigger than my Safe Wave, so he's probably more like 20 feet. And Stop You Silly Siren. He's fairly big. Which means Blue Moon is small. Blue Moon is small next to him. Blue Moon does not like this idea. Blue Moon's not gonna like anything that sucks. Silly Siren. It is, whenever you guys are asking asks and like you're talking to Moon, Blue Moon, he's just gonna be very scared and very small feeling and gonna be like, I don't want to move or talk or do anything. There's going to be a lot of grunts and growls.
He's just like, where's my chaos, the chaos dad when you need him?
I need my chaos dad. I'm stuck in the middle of the water, help me.
I mean, I'll take computer dad too, but like, chaos dad can at least hold me.
Chaos dad can hold me. I need to be held. I am in the middle of the ocean on a boat. If it is gonna be so, like, it would be so silly if like Gluttony just kind of brought Blue Moon to an ocean dimension and was like, look at my sea friend. And Blue Moon's like, I want to die. Get me out of here. He's like, I want to go home.
An eclipse is an eclipse, obviously.
Yeah, he's not,
which is stronger? Blue Moon's fear of the ocean or his hatred for eclipses?
Probably fear of the ocean. Blue Moon does not like the ocean. He's not going to be happy with the fact that it's, Captain Eclipse helping him. But, he's not going to fight Captain Eclipse because currently he's the only one keeping him above the water. Plus, Captain Eclipse is pretty nice. He's a good lad. he's a yelly lad. He acts like your grandpa.
The racist one or the nice one?
The mean ones. He acts like the yelly ones. I don't know, like your comic cartoon grandpa.
Get off my lawn.
Yeah, get off my lawn.
Get off my boat.
Get off my boat. Yes, he's that kind of grandpa-like character. But he's a really nice, grandpa character once you get to know him.
Get off my boat. This is an island with only like one coconut tree. Get off my boat. You can get off my boat, or you can get fed to the navigator. The what?
You can get fed to the navigator. You probably say you get fed to the side. You just say Moon, and Moon just looks over and it's like, what do you mean? Don't do that to people. I'm just a human. He's not. He's not all that. But yeah, he's basically grumpy old grandpa man. But he's a really sweet grandpa. If you actually talk, with the grumpy grandpa, he's a really, really nice grandpa. He's a grandpa.
He's the grandpa that they left in the retirement home and nobody visits him, so he's very grumpy.
Yes. I mean, like I said, basically his son's parents are like, I think your grandpa's gonna die because he's an idiot. Can you go, get him? And, the quotation marks, get him, turned into travel the seas with him and make sure he doesn't die. Son's initial mission was a fail. Now he's just stuck trying to keep this man alive.
His parents keep sending letters, but Eclipse just burns them.
He just burns him. He's like, oh, good. Some fire teacher. Oh, son hates his life. He does not know the ocean. Blue Moon can at least he's not afraid of the ocean like Blue Moon is. But he's not seaworthy. He's just a son. But yeah, basically, Stop Your Silly Siren Ask thing, the event is just gonna be silly. I will say though, events are gonna be much more often. The event may take some time to get through, but I'm going to be flipping through them more often, because I'm like, well, I got the Blue Moon and Black Star, so, hey look, plot. I'm gonna go use this other one for shenanigans. Which is legit just gonna happen. The Red, Blue, and Black Ask isn't going to. You can probably still ask Sun and Moon when Blue Moon gets back home. But it's just gonna be me chucking Blue Moon into different worlds from now on. I'm like, I have nothing for him to do at home. Go to a universe. While in the Black Star and Blue Moon show Ask, I'm gonna have a lot more things for Blue Moon to do. I'm gonna hate drawing the scales on this creature. Oh my goodness. But yeah, Stop Your Silly Siren is gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun to write Blue Moon. It's gonna be fun to write both of them. They're just little scared man.
So Sun can swim, but possibly maybe the clothes he wears or whatever gets waterlogged very easily. So
probably.
He basically every time he lands in the water, he has to strip so he doesn't drown.
Maybe, probably. I mean, technically, Captain Eclipse is wearing clothing too. I could see, actually, that would be great if Sun doggy paddles. He knows the doggy paddle. He knows basic swimming, but he doesn't know anything else.
He's not going to be going long distance.
Nope. He's going to be struggling. And it's gonna be funny to watch. Yeah.
For some reason,
Siren's so silly.
For some reason, yes. I feel it could be kind of amusing if something there was a storm or whatever, and Sun got thrown overboard or whatever, and Moon's like, "Well, I guess I gotta save him." And then Sun wakes up and he's basically using Moon as a piece of driftwood. And Moon's just like, I gotta keep the idiot alive. Gotta keep
Gotta
the
keep
idiot
the
alive.
idiot alive. So I can have fun with them later tomorrow morning.
He brings me snacks.
He brings me snacks. He thinks I am his friend when I shipwrecked half of his crew.
He is a friend. He's just the cannibal friend. Well, not a cannibal.
The cannibal friend. He's Blue Moon. Oh.
He's Blue Moon, except he doesn't tell his friends that he eats humans.
Tell friends that he just eats them.
It would be actually be really amusing if Sun actually knows and he's just fine with it.
He's just fine with it.
It beats being stuck with just Eclipse.
What do you want?
Yeah.
What do you want?
That's not the plan, but that's funny anyway.
He's got his grumpy grandpa and his man-eating buddy.
Man-eating buddy. Perfect. Oh, yeah, no, it's Stop a Silly Siren is such a silly thing. Because it literally was me, and I was like, I want a pirate AU. And I think I drew Sun tied up by his leg with Moon underneath him laughing at him. And that was the first sketch of Stop You Silly Siren. Was just Moon laughing at Sun's discomfort as like a siren, and that was how it started. And I don't have any plans to change it.
I also like it looks like Moon kind of has like fishing netting on
netting.
his head.
He does. He has netting. That is very true. He has netting. I couldn't. Okay, so I'm sure.
He couldn't have a normal hat. He had to have something seaworthy.
Because I don't know. Have you ever seen any of my Safe Wave stuff?
I have probably seen it, but I don't know if I've like registered it.
So it's actually the backdrop of my monitor. Not that you can see it, but if you've ever seen these fully colored images of like MERS, that's Safe Waves. In Safe Waves, Moon is based on a sailfish.
Oh, Safe Waves is the thing where Moon lost his fin or whatever?
Yes, that's the one.
Okay.
That is Safe Waves. And Safe Waves is basically it's basically just a world where it's your generic Mer have ended up in rescue need help. Okay? It's generic, but it's what I like, and technically like Sun and Moon, Sun is like a fighting fish who's really attached to humans because he was kind of bred to be attached, but he hates other Mers. While Moon really hates humans, but is attached to other Mers, basically. It's this generic thing of like, look, just because he's a fighting dog doesn't mean he's going to be aggressive to you. He's going to be aggressive to dogs. Basically idea. But
he's
that's
a police dog.
Yeah.
He's sweet when he's off duty.
He's sweet when he's off duty, but when he's on duty, which his duty, at least in Safe Waves, Sun's duty in Safe Waves before was go murder that guy. He was called like fire. He was like burning fire or something in like the fish arena, which is why Sun has that orange black coloring on his fin. Anyways, those designs, you're gonna take those designs, you're gonna take the fact that Moon doesn't have a fin in that design, and you're just gonna make that normal. Like, they don't have a back fin. And you're gonna get rid of their hat. and you're just gonna make that a generic like fin on the head. And that's where the netting comes in, because the netting makes the hat. Because all he has is this little short fin on his head. And that's basically his design. I just took my Safe Waves design, took off the back fin for Willsies, and then I gave him a short head fin and put netting on it. That's all I did to differentiate the two. But
if it works, it works.
Yeah, it works. It works for me, so. Yeah, you're gonna. But that's how they were, and so that's like Moon's design. That's the basic design he has. Eclipse, of course, is how to draw and design, but I've only ever drawn him chest up. I have no idea what clothing any of these guys are wearing. What are you watching? No, I'm streaming.
It's short.
I'm hearing child screaming. I don't even know if I want to watch it.
I don't know why he's there, but his mom is getting a tattoo. Watch. Listen to what he says.
Oh, fine.
It's like getting thousands of flu shots. Your mom's sweating a little bit right now.
Here, I have some water.
You a little dizzy? Yeah. Hey, can you grab her a cup of water? We're gonna stop when you get that water in you.
Listen.
Okay, I don't know what my mom just means. She keeps coming over.
I have ADHD. Shut up. Tell them that.
You have ADHD. I have ADHD, and I'm able to keep more focus than you.
Well, I have different ADHD.
Oh, you liar.
Oh, yeah.
Why is that pen doing that? Why can't I get that spot? Anyways, what was I talking about? I don't remember.
Something about clothes.
You were talking about
Clothes. Yes, his clothes. I don't know anything about what his clothes will look like, because I've never drawn them with clothes. Or like, I've never drawn them like full body. I know I've drawn like sun and moon clothes very vaguely. They exist. But I have no idea what Eclipse is gonna look like. All I know is that he's going to, I really want him to look like a super proud captain. That is my only, like, going off point. Proud captain guy. I don't know what I'm gonna do with that. So, something along those lines, but I don't know what. Because I've never drawn them. So, I'm gonna have fun. If I ever do draw a more detailed drawing for Stocky Silly Siren, I'm going to die. I will say, I already have plans for what AU to send him to next, because I had a vision and I was like, that's the funniest thing I've ever had in my brain. Do you want to know? Because this is going to be like way off in the future.
Sure, we'll see if I remember.
See if I remember. You probably won't, because it's going to take a while, because I don't get asks. But, Perfect Thief. I'm going to put him in Perfect Thief for laughs and giggles.
The one with the shape-shifting cat?
Mm-hmm. The shape-shifting cat who is technically a part of the gang. Yeah. I'm gonna put Blue Moon in there. And he's going to spawn next to Eclipse because he's the closest in name. And he's gonna become a villain for a good couple days. And there's no stopping me. It is gonna be the funniest thing. I can have villain Blue Moon. Because he won't have a choice. He teleported back next to one who accounts to the mafia.
The cube, if the cube's not sentient, but the cube just is amused by this.
The cube is amused. The cube is called me. The cube
is
me
not
and
broke, but more chaotic.
Yes, it is chaotic. I'm still trying to figure out the cube's origin story. And I'm like, well, I could have it be this. I could have it be the original idea I came up with. Or I could just never tell the story.
Just
But
keep
I
it a
feel like
mystery forever.
it stays ambiguous. It is ambiguous. Because I'm like, if anyone ever tells me, I'm gonna go dismantle the cube and make it so it can't teleport Blue Moon, I'm like over here like, I don't know how to stop you. Because I don't even know how it works. I don't know what I would do if anyone ever mentions that and is like, we go fix it. And I'm like,
The cube does not like to be touched. It's
like,
leaving.
Cube doesn't like to be touched, it runs away. I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna do if somebody's, or even if I allow it to happen one day. Like one day I'm like, sure, you go fix the cube. Tell me how that works out for you. Because it isn't going to work out. Like,
I think I remember Pride asked about like if he could capture the cube.
yeah, if he could capture the cube, and I'm like, he could, but it won't be easy because it's gonna be floating. It's like trying to catch a freaking beach ball in the water.
Trying to catch the golden snitch, except you don't have a broom. The
Yeah,
snitch
so
is
you don't
up
have a
there.
room. Is it up there? Like the cube is not. It's not. I have thrown the cube 3 times in red, blue, and black. It's not like it can't be touched. You can touch the cube. You can throw the cube. Okay?
But can you keep the cube?
Can you keep the cube? I don't know. Can the cube teleport on its own? Probably. How was the cube made? I don't know. Some sort of paradox. That's all I know. I know it's going to be a paradox. That's it.
The cube's actually with the star.
I mean, okay, here's the point. The cube is not the star, but ever since I learned that the star is basically some object from a well of power that was, like, strong, I'm like, well, maybe the cube's that. Maybe the cube is made from a fragment of a well of power that came out and just started existing, and it was more focused towards dimensional travel than it was world rewriting. That is an idea for the cube.
And the cube's just like, Blue Moon destroyed the star or whatever as much as he could, and the cube's just like, I like this guy.
I like the guy. I'm gonna go fuck up his life.
Or I guess it's more of a, you killed my sibling.
You killed my
I'll not stop
sibling
you.
today. But yeah, the cube, I think the first ever story I ever made with the cube, like the first explanation I ever conceived about what this thing was. Okay, hold on. Drink some water. The first idea was that Moon made it to get rid of it.
He made the cube to get rid of the cube?
He made the cube to get rid of the cube.
And this is why we don't mess with time travel.
The first idea I ever came up, which I still sometimes say the cube is made from a time paradox. It does not have a beginning, it just exists. Because the cube, I don't know, like, if I ever want the cube to have, like, a space in time where it didn't exist. And
The
so,
cube is
like,
infinite.
the cube is infinite. It's a part of a...
The cube was there at the Big Bang.
The cube is
It was just chilling there with Queen Elizabeth.
But, like, basically the idea was that the cube, like, okay, so the cube is stuck with Blue Moon for a really, really long time. RBB Moon gets irritated with the cube and makes a similar-like object to go and track the cube down and obliterate it. But when the other cube obliterated the first cube, it gained the first cube's power and became the first cube by teleporting back in time and becoming the cube that met up with Blue Moon.
Well, at least nothing exploded. Or, at least as far as we know, tore a dimensional hole anywhere.
Yeah, but like, I don't know if I want that to be the story, because the fact that Moon made it is kind of like, I don't know if I want RBB Moon to make the cube. Do I think he can? Yes, I think RBB Moon can make the cube. It is something that is most definitely within his power. He could make the cube. Do I want him to be the one who made the cube? This was like in the very beginning of like me creating this world. I hadn't figured everything out. And like nowadays I'm like, no, that doesn't make sense. RBB Moon does not have any motive to actually fix the situation with the cube. Like he did not have the motivation to fix the cube. So I'm like, okay, so he's not going to fix the cube. Well, what do I do with this origin story for the cube? And since it's been put on backlog, I'm like, I don't know what this thing's origin story is. It doesn't have one.
I mean, there's possibility it could be from like that vague timeline we talked about Blue Moon sacrificing himself to fix everything, and Moon being upset about it. So it could be Moon made that in the future and sent it back, trying to prevent Blue Moon's death or whatever. And well, he's not psychic, so he did his best, but he can't control things.
Yeah.
Or just keep it super vague and people can make their own theories.
I mean, I think I'm going to keep it vague for a long time because I don't know what I'm going to do anyways.
It's easier to just not make anything canon than have to retcon it later.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't say nothing. Because, okay, here's the funny thing. Have you ever heard the story of what Blue Moon's actual creation was? Like, what red, blue, and black was supposed to be?
I don't think so.
It was not supposed to be what it is. Red, blue, and black was supposed to be your standard Sun and Moon find an eclipse in the arcade machine AU. Detached from Sun and Moon show entirely. It was not a Sun and Moon show initially. It was something completely different. The only reason I changed that history was because I realized halfway through development of the AU that I was basically stealing my Sun and Moon traits from the Sun and Moon show. Everything about how Sun and Moon worked was exactly from the Sun and Moon show. I was basically just saying Sun and Moon show, but it's not connected to the show. And so that didn't sit right with me. I'm like, well, this is basically just me having the Sun and Moon show do stuff. Why don't I just make it Sun and Moon show?
Sense.
And so I did. And, you know, Moon just became Moon from the Sun and Moon show. And, you know, Sun just became Sun from the Sun and Moon show. But at this point, I had what was the original, okay? Original. What was the original version of Blue Moon, which was just Eclipse.
Well, I feel like this Blue Moon's a lot more fun and interesting.
The Blue Moon we have now has had development he's very interesting because he's had development. But okay, so Blue Moon's design is really weird, right?
Yeah.
Like for a sun and moon show. For somebody who is supposed to be a hybrid between blood moon and lunar, right?
He's rather sunny looking.
He doesn't look like any of them. Reason. He was supposed to be an eclipse from the arcade machine who took freaking Balloon Boy traits. Blue Moon's ribbons are red and blue because they're supposed to look like Balloon Boy's colors. Blue Moon has 3 colors taken exactly from freaking Balloon Boy. The other 2, well 3 if we count the yellow, are from Eclipse. Like just the standard idea of an eclipse in the sky. Blue Moon's design was not meant to be a lunar and blood moon hybrid at all. I scrapped the entirety of what was the original red, blue, and black of Blue Moon. I scrapped the entire thing and rewrote him, but I kept the design. It is the silliest thing I've ever done. But it's Blue Moon. It is one of the weirdest things I've ever done. Blue Moon, like the arcade machine Blue Moon, like what was just Eclipse, was a little new AI who was very silly and wanted to do stuff. He is nothing like Blue Moon. I barely remember this character. All I know is that he was not Blue Moon. He was not a murderer. He was nothing. Okay, well, he was a murderer to some degree. He was, corrupted by a Vanny virus. But, basically he wasn't evil or chaotic or anything. It kept some of Blue Moon's traits that Blue Moon's now has, like the fact that he's like technically arcade machine Blue Moon was supposed to be really, 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 really happy and would have random bursts of anger. That is the only defining trait I had of this character before I scrapped most of them. And that kind of stays with Blue Moon, where he can turn from really calm and really happy to super angry really, really fast. That's still kind of there, but it's not there as prevalent. And that's the sad thing. But basically, Blue Moon was not supposed to be who he is. That design is not who he's supposed to be. He was supposed to be someone completely different. And it's always funny when I go back and I'm like, oh yeah, this was once just a sun and moon AU. And then another fact, Dim from Warehouse. Blue Moon's initial sort of design, not his colors, the design, this ribbon guy, was supposed to be Dim when I first drew it. I was trying to draw Dim, and I drew Blue Moon instead. I knew immediately I didn't draw the right character, but it's funny. It is a lovely design process. Goodness, I haven't checked Tumblr ever. What's on the Tumblr?
Stuff.
Oh dear. Oh, you have a thing. What did you do? Oh, that's intriguing. Sun Copy can't see, Red Moon can't speak.
Or eat, for that matter.
Or eat, for that matter, yes. In parentheses. I mean, yeah. Probably. I could see that. But maybe swap. Red Moon eats but does not see, but Sun Copy does see but cannot eat, sort of thing.
Well, it was kind of supposed to be Red Moon cannot survive without Sun Copy because he can't eat.
Yeah, I guess that's a good. I could see that. That's where you were getting at. I could see that. Yeah, they're both. It's a mess. Blue Moon's a mess.
Yes.
Blue Moon's a mess. He's so sad. It's so funny. I made a poll, and that was what I was supposed to be drawing, but I'm drawing a dinosaur instead. I was supposed to be drawing Blue Moon getting a hug. But I didn't do
I
that.
don't think you're drawing Blue Moon getting a hug.
No, I'm not. I didn't want to draw Blue Moon getting a hug because it's really sad what hug I have in mind. It was the conversation with Mad Cat where, I don't even remember what it was exactly. All I know is that Crushed Glow, Blue Moon got worried for Crushed Glow, so he tried to bring Crushed Glow to Golden's place to keep him there. He refused. Crushed Glow refused. And Blue Moon was not happy about that, but he didn't want to force Crushed Glow to do anything. And Crushed Glow was basically proving himself like strong, because I think he transformed into Blue Moon. And he's like, I can be as strong as you. I can be as brave as you if I want. You do not need to protect me. I'm not leaving until you leave. And Blue Moon, of course, doesn't want to leave, so he keeps trying to beg Crushed Glow to go stay with Golden, and he refuses. And so, like, in the end of the interaction, I think Blue Moon got really, really sad and like hugged him out of misery. And that's what I was planning on drawing.
But then dinosaurs.
And I was like, no, dinosaur. I'll draw a dinosaur instead of that. How's that sound? I don't want to draw depression. We all have characters with depression. Well, I don't know about you. You've adopted characters with depression. But yeah, I was like, do I draw a depressing hug or do I draw a dinosaur? I choose the dinosaur. I was really hoping for people to know what sketch I meant when I said the sketch of here's the plan. I don't know if anyone knew what I was talking about. And now I'm like, probably just nobody did. I was talking about the sketch where Inferno and like a Inferno Pride, Lord Solar and
The smart people.
yes, the smart people. Well, I had one non-smart people, and that was Supernova, but I wasn't sure if I was gonna actually add Supernova. I think I just had him on the list.
Supernova is a code guy. He might know stuff.
Yeah, I was like, sure, probably. But those characters, with Lord Knight doing the classic like conspiracy board pose, saying here's the plan, with Chaos holding Blue Moon and Computer saying hush and that little description. That's what I was talking about, and I was like crossing my fingers that that's what people picked. They did not pick that. I was stuck with sad Blue Moon, and I was like, dinosaurs. Dinosaurs
We're all kind of like we want to do the thing, but we're also like we don't want to mess up Blue Moon. We're all worried about that happening.
No, I will say, I did come up with a dialogue idea, if I ever write it down, of, Black Star asking Blue Moon why he likes stars. And it's a sad but happy dialogue. I gotta write it down, but it was really, really sweet and sad all at the same time. It was this whole dialogue train about basically like, okay, what it was kind of taking off of the idea of Black Star figuring out that Blue Moon likes the stars from like either in him talking to Glitter or just from going to another world, he learns that Blue Moon likes stars, and it's like, well, I'm gonna go find him while he's looking at stars. So he finds him and looks him and finds him looking at stars. Is like, why are you out here? Yeah, it's just lights in the sky. And Blue Moon's like, they aren't just lights. And then they have like a mini discussion about, why are you watching the stars? And Blue Moon's defending of the stars and saying they're really, really cool. And Black Star's just being a little boy bitch until, he basically gets Blue Moon to talk about the scientific parts about the stars. And he's like, I don't care about whatever science of the stars. Star science is old. I freaking lived on the sun. What is so important about the stars? And what was it? I need to write this down so I don't forget. But he basically, Blue Moon explained that, stars, they move and they change and they disappear. And Black Star's like, well, they aren't disappearing. I haven't heard of any star disappearing. And Blue Moon's like, no, they're dead. There's thousands of stars out there that are gone. And they are only represented by a distant memory that will one day fade. And Black Star's like, well, yeah, but you can at least see them now. And it just got kind of sad. I'm trying to like restart my memory about this dialogue because Blue Moon talked about the stars being dead, and Black Star's like, yeah, I guess they die, but at least they make something out there somewhere in space, right? They make nebulas and black holes and stuff. And he's like, they either turn into like, I don't remember the branching dialogue, but I know there was at some point Black Star's like, at least, it feels like the stars make bad things and good things. And Blue Moon's like, well, I think it's both. Black Star's like, how so? And Blue Moon's like, well, a black hole just stores energy. It doesn't destroy it. And a nebula might be making something new. But it always is bringing, new life to torture and so, they're good and bad. And then it led into a joke about Black Star liking the stars now, which made Blue Moon. I don't remember. I don't remember this dialogue entirely, but it was something along those lines. But yeah, it was something along those lines, and it was sad, but it was uplifting to a certain degree. Because it was basically like, what was it? In my mind, what it was representing was that, sun and moon are dead. essentially, like RBB, Sun and Moon, they are dead. They've been dead. Whoever they were that everyone wants them to become again is far gone. They will never be who they once were. They will never be, you know, the nice people that they were once. They just don't exist no more.
Yeah.
But, you know, at least they left something in their place. You know, and, you know, it's not a bad thing, but it's not a good thing either what they left. But at least they left something. That was kind of what the dialogue was branching off to. I don't remember all of it. I really wish I did. That was like the idea. Just a dialogue train. Goodness, it is 11:30 where I am. I got to stop. I have an event to go to tomorrow. If I can't wake up, then that's a problem.
Yeah.
Alright. Well, it was nice talking to you.
Yes, it was nice listening.
Yes.